overwintering dahlia tubers is not something that I am super familiar with. And every year, by messing up, by killing tubers, is a way for me to learn how to try to do it better, at least for the following years. But this year, I feel like maybe I got the hang of it. I got a beautiful, beautiful amount of tubers that multiply this year. I am very, very excited about that. I already divided a few of them. You watched the first part of this process, which was digging the tubers, cleaning them. I pretty much just wash most of the soil away from the tubers. They look pretty good, if I say so myself. They're nice and clean. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I am going to be dividing them now in the fall so that they can be stored, so that they can hopefully overwinter for the following spring. Now, if I was just going to put these guys like this, well, I will cut this part of the stem, but if I was just going to keep them like this for the winter, I will not remove any of the soil. I would just let them dry for a couple of days outside with the soil, with most of the soil on it, and I will just store them like that. But I want to see how they do divided this year. I have never divided in the fall, so this is my first time trying this technique this way. We'll see how it works. I have a lot of tubers, so I am really, really happy with the amount that I got. But sometimes you don't know. Sometimes, you know, your climate, your temperatures inside, or whatever the room or the medium that I use to store this may not work, and it's all trial and error, at least for me at this point with dahlia tubers. So as I said, I already divided some of these. The eyes on the ones that I divided were like perfect. They were showing. It was really easy for me to get most of these to be separated, and it was an easy thing. Now, some of these I wasn't sure about, not because I didn't see any eyes, but because I wasn't sure about the viability. I wasn't sure if the tuber was fully mature or viable for sprouting next year. Let me show you what I mean. So normally a tuber will be something like this. You have the body, you have the neck, and you have a piece of the crown up here with an eye showing. And this is pretty much what the shape of most tubers are. Now you may have tiny little things like this one. They're just very, very small. Or you may have some like this that are more like rounded, a little chunky, or some a little bit longer and skinnier. But no matter what, it's the body, the neck, and the crown. And I did get some, but I wasn't sure if I was getting enough neck. Let me see what I mean. Like this right here, I am not quite sure. I think that this is going to be okay. I am going to save it because I think that it's okay, but I'm not sure. We'll just see next year. And like this one right here, like I'm not even sure about this one. I'm kind of halfway there. I'm not sure. It might be bad. It might be okay. But I'm going to save it anyway. Now, the reason why I'm saving those, even though I'm not really sure if they're viable, is because I want to give them a chance, right? And like I said, I'm not very comfortable with dahlia tubers just quite yet. So I just want to try it. I just want to experiment with them, see if they work. If all of these guys come up next year, if they all sprout, that's going to be amazing because it tells me that I made good decisions when I was dividing them. So as the years go by, dividing dahlia tubers may get easier and easier. This right here, Linda's Baby, I love that one. And I think that when I purchased that, I got something that it looked like this. Something like this. This is what I got when I purchased this tuber from one of the growers, and I paid about $10, $20, depending who you buy it from, for one tiny thing like this. That's not really cheap if you think of it, right? But we all know how it goes. Now, from planting that dahlia, feeding it, taking care of it this season, I got beautiful flowers, and I got about 11, 12 more tubers. I got plenty to go from. Now, let's just say that I make some poor decisions when I was dividing these guys and half of them don't take. At least I have 5 plants there, 5 more plants that multiply from that. And next year from those 5 plants, just imagine how many more tubers I will have from just purchasing something like this year 1. So to me, it just makes sense to want to try, even if I'm not completely sure of how well that tuber is formed. I'm just going to give him a try. That's pretty much what I'm going to do. So I am going to show you how I'm going to be storing this year. I know from using vermiculite from the last 2 years, I know the vermiculite is the way that I am going to go with. But this year I'm changing it a little bit as far as what I'm going to use for the storing part. So I am going to show you how I'm going to divide this tuber. And I'm also going to show you one that kind of freaked me out a little bit because I thought it was full of disease. So I am going to show you that. I'm going to actually bring you a little bit closer so you can see what I'm talking about. Let me start by the one that had the disease, or that I thought it was disease. This guy right here is this kind of Dahlia Marn. I think I'm saying that right. And when I dug this tuber yesterday, I noticed that there was some growth going right there. Now I started to freak out because there is this disease called crown gall and leafy gall, which you will know if you have it. They sort of look like this cauliflower growth all over the tuber. I thought, oh my gosh, like my tubers are getting this disease. Like literally I was freaking out. But I posted something on Instagram. One of my Instagram friends recommended I check this Facebook group called Dahlia Growers, and I posted a video of this thing there, and everybody was like, nope, that's just ice. That's just growth. Those are just healthy ice growing on the tuber. So that makes me feel better. Not one person said that, you know, to throw this away or anything like that. They all agree. Every single message, every single comment there, they all agree this is fine. However, I am not completely, you know, I just want to be completely sure, and I am going to keep this guy separate. Actually, I have been keeping it separate from those guys over there. I am going to keep it separate from my other ones just in case. And regardless what you think of your tubers, if they all look healthy, make sure to sanitize from every time that you divide one tuber. When you move to the next one, make sure to sanitize whatever tool you're using. Now, there are a lot of things you can use. Obviously, you can use just regular scissors, your pruners, which these are one of my favorite pruners, or like these guys right here. For me, this guy works better. I got this on Amazon just because it has that extra pointy part. It just fits better when you're trying to go in between tubers versus something like this that is shorter and it won't reach in certain places. Make sure not to lose my tag. This is Labyrinth. This guy grows. I mean, the blooms were amazing, and obviously the tubers are going to be huge as well, which is not the case for a lot of the tubers. I am going to start by removing all of these extra roots that are not going to help me. Much better. When you're doing this, you really gotta take your time just looking, and it really does help when you have a nice clean tuber, because you can then notice the eyes. Like this guy right here has a bunch of eyes. It's going to be really hard for me to show you really close, but you gotta examine, and I'll try to show you a picture here of the eyes on how they look like, so that you can kind of tell. And this is what you'll face sometimes. You look at a tuber and you see the form, has the body, neck, and the crown, and then you're wondering, is that an eye or is that not an eye? And if I am wondering, if I am in doubt, I am going to save that, just because there might be a chance that it is viable. So I'm going to try to get a piece of the tuber. I am not just going to cut it off of the crown. This is what I end up with. I'm going to make sure not to mix it with the rest. This guy, look at the size of this. Look at this. This is like a potato. Okay, so I am going to keep on looking. I am going to spot another one that has clearly a great eye. And this is what I mean when I said that I can reach in places with these long pointy things versus just having a regular pruner. Okay, this one is very connected to another one. Sometimes you might find pieces that are like connected with two tubers. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get those 3 tubers, those chunks. Here is one more. Here's one more. Now, so far from this tuber, like I know for sure I have at least 3 here that are good, that I know that they will be okay. But the other 2 I'm not really sure, but I'm going to save them anyway. Oh, this right here has a beautiful eye. This right here has a beautiful eye, but the tuber kind of goes in between these 2. So I'm going to just cut it so that I can free it. There we go. Perfect. And again, if you're not sure about how the eyes are supposed to look like, try to watch videos or images of those so that you get familiar with them, and something that you're just gonna have to learn as you go. Sometimes tubers have very visible eyes, like this right here. And sometimes they don't, and I think that's why people wait until the spring to do this division of the tubers, because they seem to be better at showing. I don't know if you can really tell, close to the crown, the tuber, close to the crown, the eye. And again, I have the body of the tuber, the neck, and then the crown with an eye. Oh, there's one more right there. That's beautiful. So I have 2 here. Okay. I have a very visible eye right here, and it's right in the middle of these 2 guys. Now, I am going to try and just cut these 2 like this. Perfect. This guy has 2 eyes right here. And this is something that it's probably super hard to show you guys on videos, but hopefully at least by watching somebody else doing this, maybe we'll help you in, you know, getting to do your own thing in your own place with your own tubers. Let me see, that guy is, oh, right there. There's a knife right there. How do I get all of these off? This guy is not good. Okay. This guy right here is mega huge, very huge. I have an eye right there where my pinky is. It will be really hard to see. But, so I have all of these tubers from one labyrinth tuber that I purchased in the spring. So I have 12. I have 12 extra tubers that I got from how they multiplied this year, right? So this is the one that I bought. These are all the extra ones that I got from one season. This is why it makes sense for me to just purchase, to spend a little bit of money on quality tubers from a grower that just takes care of the tubers. Now, if half of these extra tubers do not grow, do not sprout for me next year, at least I have the other half to make it. And even if none of these work for me, even if I just get one more, I think that's worth it for me. Okay, I have my bag of vermiculite that I got from Amazon, and I am going to get my Ziploc bags ready. And normally in past years, what I have done is that I get a huge cardboard box, I fill the bottom with vermiculite, and I put layers of the tubers. But I had been doing the tubers as whole, as a clump, and it was easier to tag them that way. But this way, I don't just want to have the tubers mixed in there, so I'm just going to separate them by keeping them in a bag. I am going to tag the outside just in case. And this part is just easy. I am just going to layer the tubers. These are big guys. And as I place the tubers, I am just going to keep on adding vermiculite. I think that what I'm going to do next year is that I am going to try to find like those plastic bins. And I might actually do that this year because I still have a lot of tubers today, you guys. I have some in containers and I have some in my stepping stone pathway. I have at least 12 tubers in there that I still have to dig, and it's gonna be fun. Okay, so right now I have all of the tubers from Labyrinth here. They're nice and secure, and I am going to keep these bags in a big cardboard bags. And I am not going to close them completely, but I'm just going to leave them open like this, just so that they don't dry out too quickly. And at least once a month I'll come here and check. But it's easier for me once I have all of these like this in bags. It's easier for me to just look through them or dump them and then refill them instead of having all of the tubers in just one big box. So I am going to continue finishing up storing the rest of my tubers. And this is pretty much how they're going to go in a unheated garage or in a place where it doesn't really freeze, but it stays nice and cool and definitely dark. I know that I can easily close this. I don't have to worry about it. They can stay in that room where I'm gonna have them. And like I said, at least once a month, I'll go and check on them, but it's easier this way for me to deal with all of the little divisions. So I hope that you got something out of this video. Let me know if you have any comments or if you have any tips, if you have been doing this for years. Let me know because I will definitely appreciate it. Until the next time, you guys.